Alright, welcome back. This is Black Lodge Trivia Night playing some Starfield, and I have got to say it's been a while. I don't know if I'm going to remember how to do this very well, because, I mean, if you remember, I was already sort of struggling with the controls at touch. I was starting to get used to them, and then I had to take a long hiatus. It's been a little nuts. I've talked about, what's been going on, on the Darklands and a little bit on the, Black Lodge Trivia Night, how we've all been fried. But let's see what we're doing. I remember we were sort of looking to get off the planet, and then that just never happened. So Right. So I had two options. I could choose to either bring the sample of that monster that I killed, or go help out with take my ship and help someone out. So, okay, so I'm delivering a letter to a pen pal. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Okay, you see vigilance and speak to... I think delivering devils is the... Yeah, I think it's delivering devils. But I know, basically, I think a lot of stuff was driving me towards Mars, I want to say. Not that I'm remembering. Sidonia. I feel like a couple things were going there. Okay, so... Not that I know what I'm doing. I do remember I was struggling for a while with getting the quest pointers to work, so I think I've gotten that locked down, finally. And, yeah, let's go from there. So it's interesting. I'm sort of, I don't know if people... I struggle a lot with OBS, and I might be struggling in ways that aren't worth the effort. I lost about like 5-10 minutes trying to get the recording settings to work, and I keep getting like invalid argument or something. Wouldn't start recording. So I try and record... Oh, yep, sorry, you got left behind. I try and record DNX HD, which is sort of a almost broadcast level. And I record almost everything I can in that, like the Darklands. I think, the Black Lodge Trivia Night screen capture, I try and get that just so it's a little extra crisp before I flush it down the toilet. That is internet compression. And for some reason, like every couple of times, just OBS will not start, recording. And I sit there and I reset things, and I don't know why, because, I saved my Starfield profile and it worked last time, but I was having some trouble this morning. So what I'm trying here is well, I was going to try AV1, but even that was giving me problems for some reason. It was saying, like, I had to turn off rescaling and it couldn't initialize, and I don't have any of those things set to go, so I don't know what was going on. So this might be H.265 at sort of quote-unquote lossless quality. So we'll see how it goes. And the reason why I don't know if it's worth all the effort is because, to be honest with you, again, like, I don't know if once you crunch it through YouTube, it might not make any difference. And meanwhile, it's eating up tons of hard drive space. It's a headache to get to run, But anyway, it's nice to get back to this one, because I love sci-fi games, as I've said. I love GDW, Game Designer Workshop's 2300. For a little while, it was called Traveler 2300, and then I think it just went 2300. I'm hoping for that kind of vibe here. So let's And so far, it's mostly delivered on that, I think. Set course. All right, so here we are flying out. I think, I think one of the, we've talked about it here, and one of the discussions that have come up is, how much this is not a space trucking game. It's very much a Bethesda fast travel game, and that is okay. For what it's worth, it's okay that this game sort of picked its thing and went for it. All right, so yeah, we've arrived at Mars. And now I've got to remember how exactly do you get to a planet. So let's go back to... because I don't remember. Now, I think that in a typical Bethesda game, once you've been somewhere, you can fast travel to it. But let me see. I feel like... let's see what happens if you scan. This is a pretty slick looking... Can I pull back? Not by much. Okay. This is a pretty slick looking interface. So we need to go to... whoops. Some... But a lot of those discussions about how it's like it's very much a Bethesda fast travel game, right? I think I was listening to Jeff Gerstmann on his podcast talking about this. And I think he sort of made a good point. And maybe it came up elsewhere. Maybe I'm just conflating everything. But I thought I remember something he was talking about where, at least in Skyrim, you could, you had to walk somewhere first, if that makes sense.
Check your suit seals. Martian dust gets everywhere.
Where here...
What a lovely view of the Martian sky. Frankly, I'm a bit surprised to find such a delightful spot in this rather drab city.
Where here is, by its nature, it has to be broken up. And one argument maybe he was making, or somebody else was making, like, why not just have you fast travel straight to the planet? Why do you have to fast travel to the system and then to the planet? It's just 2 steps of fast travel. And in an efficiency way, I can sort of see the point, right? Especially if 180 hours in, maybe there's a way to get around it. But at the same time, you start to get to the point where, was there any point to including space at all? And I feel like that's sort of like an immersion thing, atmospheric. So yeah, let's go check out Sidonia. Another thing, and I think I listened to a bunch of podcasts. I think I was listening to Remap Radio. It's the old Waypoint guys, and when they were talking about it, they were making the argument, and I think we talked about this before, where some people say you should speed through the main mission, and some people are like, no, don't do that. Take your time. And then others were saying, no, you should absolutely. And they were on the fence, on the side of the fence that's more, you should speed through.
I can't imagine being cramped down here, choking on the fumes and the dust.
And I think their
Trees, no grass.
point of view is that some things open up that make this the sort of Bethesda space experience you actually want.
Lots of stuff. Just ask.
Now, what did I remember one of these things I was playing with system settings, and I'm just kind of curious really quickly, what did I end up on? And the reason why, I was just curious if I left everything maxed out, because the reason why is because at one point I was looking at 58, 59 frames per second. Now I'm getting like solid 90. Everything's maxed out, same resolution.
Oh, hey, what's up? You looking to do some shopping here at the Trade Authority? I'm Manaki. Feel free to ask me.
So I'm wondering if there
anything.
was some
I'll do my
patches
best
or
to help you
something,
out.
or NVIDIA drivers. I use studio drivers for NVIDIA because of work.
Oh man, no, I'm still
But I
new
do
here,
know that there was
so
a
I don't know
studio
how
update, so
qualified
maybe
I am to answer
it
that.
improves some things.
We're like this huge network of shipping and trade throughout the known universe. Everyone, Free Stars, UC, even Varun uses us in some capacity. Because I guess we're all about free trade for all. Yo, I wouldn't be surprised if we bought and sold from the Crimson Fleet, right?
I know,
They
right,
pay
bro?
my salary, so as far as I'm concerned, they're all right in my book.
It's amazing how far that goes. They're the worst human beings on the face of the planet, but they do pay my salary.
Man, sorry, I can't really say that. Really, they told me not to say anything like that because rumors, you know? All I know is that we're running a business here, and I was told to take in all trades and sell whatever we've got. And listen, I'm not gonna worry about anything other than that.
Because they do pay my salary. Excuse me, sir. I was inquiring, do you do the crime? Oh, you can't talk about the crime? You were told by them not to talk about the crime? Okay, let's move on.
Yo, this dude came in once trying to sell this whack-looking fish or something. It was still alive. He had it in this big plastic bag full of water and everything. Good size, too. I was trying to tell him I didn't know if we took in things like that, but then my boss came over and told me we absolutely did. And I had to process the sale and store the thing. Man, what a pain in the ass that was. Even weirder, someone came in and bought it like right away. The hell's that about, right?
Well, let's trade. I don't know what we got.
That's what we do here.
So I guess, yeah, let me see what I could sell. Was it Skyrim that had a thing where you could spin it around and if you saw something, it would start to vibrate? I thought that was kind of a cool thing. I feel like I picked this up by accident. I don't think I actually need this. Again, it's interesting. The interface doesn't tell you that A confirms what you want to do. Again, at this point, can we just assume it? Probably. But it is interesting. Antique videotape. Okay, this is Chunks beef. Hell yeah. Chunks egg. That sounds terrible. Okay. Okay. I don't really, you know, part of me is like, just hold on to whatever. Is there, I guess, 135, so I guess I might be close to... I guess I'm pretty close to the limit, I guess. It's interesting. I don't... Was it,
Yo, you're spacing out, huh? Yo, stay good out there.
Was it Mass Effect where they just have some kind of general trash, like it just puts it in a pile and you could quickly... just sell it off. You knew it was safe to sell.
Oh, not here for a delivery, are you?
Captain AWD-2, sir.
Do you now? Well, I do wish I could help you, Captain, but Dr. Walker has been missing for some time. A shame, too. We had such high hopes for Percival. I brought him on myself to do medical and biological consulting around the city. Not the sort of work the Trade Authority traditionally does. But we thought it had the potential to become a whole new type of revenue stream for our branch. I invested no small amount of personal capital into the endeavor. But then he decided to run off after a discipline issue. I presume the miners have him hidden somewhere. Plenty of cracks on this old rock. But at this point, it's probably for the best.
Alright, let's, get some more info about that.
Walker decided to start brewing and selling his own pharmaceuticals.
Breaking
to our
Bad.
customers, below cost. Something his contract expressly forbade. As such, we requested our cut of the profits and began garnishing his salary. Perhaps a little too severely, but well within legal limits. It was around then that he ran off, abandoning his duty and his unpaid accounts. That's correct. We're no longer interested in Dr. Walker's services. He did leave his post, however, with a sizable debt to his name. If you were to find him and get him to pay,
You know,
the Trade Authority would be most grateful for it.
I respect...
Hello, the Trade Authority. Is it absolutely necessary that we have to help them?
He's right there.
Why? Feeling charitable? I don't recall the exact figure off the top of my head, but with the interest it's accrued, I believe it's something substantial. So if you were able to find him and convince him to clear his accounts, you would have our honest gratitude.
Ugh, I can't believe you're helping them. What a stupid waste
That's
of
interesting.
time.
You know,
Wonderful. I suggest paying a visit to the Sixth Circle, what I suppose is technically a bar on the lowest level of the city. If anyone knows where Percival is, the miscreants there would. But I would urge caution. They're not a group known for their hospitality.
so what I was curious about is, you know, like, where'd she go? There you go. Sarah Morgan, you know, disapproved of that
Day, huh?
interaction. But it's not like I committed to extracting the payment from the person, so that's why I was kind of surprised she went straight to... So I was surprised she went straight to there, because, like, you know, I could technically interact with this person, cut a deal, help them escape. You know, there's a million things I could still, you know, theoretically do that would not be helping them. I could, you know.
Broken Spear's upstairs. Go drown yourself there. This bar's for devil's vets and their kin. Doc Walker? You're barking up the wrong...
Andy, you, why don't you come here and tell me what some stray wants with me?
All right, speak to the miners at the Sixth Circle. Okay. It's always good to start with the bartender.
A stray topsider wanders into my bar claiming they know people. What do you want with Dr. Walker?
Let me see.
That's so. Now, if that tag's a forgery, it's a damn good one. All right. Maybe she did send you. Or maybe you just know where to buy your fakes. But look, even if I decided I was going to help you get in contact with Dr. Walker, Percival made himself scarce for a reason. His debt to the Trade Authority. But if someone resolved that debt, well, Percival wouldn't have to hide anymore. Can bet that person would make a friend out of Percival, and the rest of us devils. And I'm always inclined to help a friend.
So, and this is the thing, right? So, she disapproved when I talked to the Trade Authority upstairs. But again, maybe, yeah, take care of the Trade Authority. Screw them. Who cares?
Well, most straightforward way to take care of this debt would be to just saunter up to the authority and pay him direct, if you've got credits to throw away. Of course, rumor is the Trade Authority keeps all their records and collections files on a central server inside their storeroom. If someone was to break in there and adjust Percival's debt to something a little more reasonable, say a few hundred credits, I'd be happy to cover the costs.
Making that adjustment would be illegal. I don't think this is a road we should travel.
But, one friend of Hadrian's to another, Sidonia's full of old utility spaces. Wouldn't be surprised if there was one that let out right into the authority storeroom. Say, with an entrance behind the bar at the Broken Spear. Ooh, and you might need these.
Okay.
Red Devils were the meanest marine unit the UC Navy ever had. Couldn't get in if you hadn't done at least one stint as a Martian Dusty. Made us tough. Reliable. It's why they chose us as the handlers for the UC Xeno weapons. No other
It's
unit could
interesting.
handle that pressure. Percival, though, he wasn't a grunt.
It's interesting to me. Like, I feel like,
Science officer.
obviously, like, I've barely scratched the surface of this game, and who knows when I'll actually get to it.
And didn't with everyone else.
But
But it was those monsters that did us in. When the colony war ended and the armistice came down, everything associated with Xeno weapons got shelved, Red Devils included. Now they're just a memory. Me? Nah. Infantry officer. But my grunts deployed alongside the things. Never seen anything like it, before or since. Monsters from the darkest corners of the Black, rampaging across the battlefield. And understand why they banned them. Brutal. Armistice hurt us more than most, but... wow. Wasn't all bad that came out of that agreement. And I look forward to hearing the good news.
all right. What I was about to say is in my mind, it's a little, speak to the bar patron. It's a little interesting. I feel like this game, I don't want to say it's come and gone, but Skyrim, there's, that game sold and had versions for a decade, right?
Oh, good. Percival's a good guy. Listen, I know how you can do it without having to resort to any B&E.
Boo.
Aqueous hematite. Mars is full of it. People think it's just garbage. But Percival and we've been working on some projects in the deep mines. At least when he wasn't slaving away at his Trade Authority contract. But we stumbled on a way to make it useful and profitable. You give our research over to Octai at the Trade Authority, it should more than cover Percival's debt. That guy's always looking for an angle. Well, yeah. We We were never able to finish the research. Spacers moved in and ran us out.
So right, so like, you know, like Skyrim, you know,
Oh,
probably
dear.
people still
I
streaming
believe
it.
I see where this is leading.
But if you can clear them out, I can walk you through how to finish the research. Then you can give it over to the Trade Authority. They'll get folks working in the deep mines again. Jobs come back, I become a modern-day folk hero. Then I don't have to sleep on an inflated spacesuit anymore. A bunch of parasites and cutthroats. They're folks from the fringes of space, willing to put down anyone who tries to move in on what they've decided is theirs, even when it ain't. Strange this group would pick Mars as a new home. Sure, we're not downtown New Atlantis, but there are places where they'd be bothered less than here. My guess is the authority tipped them off when they heard we were working down there, and cut off what they thought was the competition, you know?
It just, yeah, it doesn't, the initial reaction is it just doesn't feel like this is going to have that kind of longevity that, I mean, what game does, right, with Skyrim? But Skyrim seems to have just sort of
employer on Mars has always been Deimos Star Yards. After the Colony War,
had a moment,
armistice
right?
meant
Well, a
they
moment,
needed a lot
lasted a
fewer
decade, but
warships.
it was sort of like the
Fewer
right
ships meant
amount of
fewer
game at the
minerals.
right time
Having a
and
lot of folks scrounging for work
accessibility and
around
just
here.
captured the imagination of, I imagine, people that weren't really into the style of game, or they didn't know this game was out
Access
there,
to
and
deep
Skyrim
mines can
really
be
put it on
found
the map.
outside the city. It's not far. Shouldn't even need to hop back in your ship. We'd set up right near the main drill. Taking out the spacer leader should get the message across to the rest of them to buzz off. Once you've managed that, phone up here on the comms panel, and I can walk you through finishing the research.
Okay, so I don't know where Sarah is. So Sarah doesn't seem to like the idea of breaking and entering. She didn't have the same negative reaction to Stone Cold Murder.
Wouldn't put it past the authority for a second to keep off the spacers.
You know what? Let's see what our options are here. Oh well. Oh, well, let's see what happens.
Been a long time since I've been to Mars. Sol system doesn't get a lot of traffic. Ask whatever you'd like. My parents considered themselves to be enlightened, but their lives
Their
were
lives are so busy they rarely pursued
pursued
their
it.
beliefs.
By the time I was old enough to start questioning these,
Okay.
it's not that I don't want. Having been out there, in the stuff, I'm sorry if that disappoints. Exploration is my entire life. I consider it both a career and recreation. That being said, I will make a confession.
Oh, here we go.
But you have to promise to keep it between us. Before I graduated from school, I was in a band. And no, I don't mean the school band. I mean a rock band.
How naughty.
We called ourselves Ironic Comet. A ridiculous name, I know. But we were just a bunch of teenagers getting together and having fun. And before you ask, no, I wasn't the lead singer. I actually played the drums. The band never really went anywhere, of course, but those were good times, and I remember them fondly. You mean apart from being the chair of Constellation for the past 5 years? Well, let's see. I pride myself with my aptitude for astrodynamics, calculating optimal trajectories for grav jumping.
So I wonder if that
Quite
affects
useful in the
grav
past.
jumping on the ship.
And as far as planetary exploration, my area of expertise is botany. So don't worry, I won't let you eat anything that might put you in the hospital.
Okay.
I'll be here. Maybe another time.
So Mass Effect sort of established a template of these kinds of games where you have like crews and a lot of chatter. Well, not just Mass Effect, those are BioWare games where you're talking to your guys the whole time. But in Mass Effect specifically, they, they made it so your sci-fi game gets a crew to walk around with you. And I wonder... what it would be like if it was more like the... like the Firefly episode right at the end of the run with the lone bounty hunter, the Jubilee Early. I think that was his name.
Used to think I was Vanguard material until I discovered that space travel.
I could see this being, yeah, so where you're just solo. You don't have to, like, check in with, NPCs. It's also interesting, so, for a game where, like, you just set blue dot active, follow blue dot, to click box that completes quest. There's, like, I appreciate that there's, like, a lot of chit-chat, flavor text, dialogue, whatever, to give give everything some personality, so it masks the fact that you're not just setting up a blue dot and running to it. Now, here's an interesting thing. I want to make sure... At the same time, I wonder if at some point people just skip it all. Because they're like, yeah, whatever. I just need... okay, so show all targets. This is what always confuses me. Show only active targets. I want it to be the opposite. But for some reason, I'm getting multiple... The Milky Way. But yeah, I wonder if at some point, it just doesn't matter. But it's at the same time something you can't not do it, right? I'm trying to remember how to... Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Flashlight. Okay, so this is killing the space leader, which, again, I think Sarah, my NPC, seemed a little more comfortable with that. A couple of unknown things going on. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to remember how to use my jetpack.
Hey, stick to targets that shoot back, okay?
This also seems like... I can see this being an interesting streaming, like a nice streaming game, right? Because on one hand, but I think more in my head, more for the streamer than the streamy. If that makes sense, because it's, it's just a very... I think we've talked a little bit about the Bethesda loop where it's pretty relaxing. You can just pick a quest, set a dot, chase after it. Usually what you have to do once you get there is not overly complex. I had that mission to get the alien DNA, and, there's a whole thing about, you want to funnel it down this sort of, this gauntlet where automatic security defense weapons can fire on it once you've activated the weapons themselves. And, like, that wasn't that complicated. It's just kind of a nice... And so I could see how it's just a... Or the equivalent of, like, putting on a podcast kind of game, since the dialogue doesn't usually matter too much. And you just put this on if you had a stream where people just came in and chilled, if that's a thing people do. Now, on the flip side, it's for the streamee, for the viewer. We actually have a word for that in English, the viewer. I can see how it might be tricky because there's a lot of downtime. Like, we just ran from one base to the other. I don't know what level I am. And when there's not a lot of downtime, there's a lot of dialogue. Level 6, okay. It just made me, just sort of thinking out loud a little bit. Quick save, yeah, okay. How do you... So they still got Overwatch up there? Okay, that guy's still up there. Now, I thought there was a way to take cover and have it pop up over cover. But it doesn't seem to be doing that. Anyway, yeah, just, it's interesting. I wonder if, how this did for people streaming. I mean, obviously you get somebody like Fextra Life who has like 1 million viewers. They'll probably watch whatever goes up on their Twitch channel, but I'm curious how this game did. I feel like I'm about to die. Hearing the heartbeats going, and I'm not paying attention to my health, so I gotta see how that works. Now, the thing I really like, I'm a huge fan of stealth, so let me see. Can you do like a stealth kill? The answer is maybe, but that's not. We'll never know from that opening. Okay, so where's... Okay, it's on the right side. Down, okay. I'm probably going to restart this because I screwed it up so badly. Is it F9? Let me... Yeah, let me just do that. Couple things. The pistol's fine, but let me see if I've got a... Yeah, I'm already low on health. Let me see if I've got a submachine gun going on. Or something. What's this? Okay, let's try this gun. Oh, green is detected. I confess, when it was going green, I just assumed that meant it was going to be in the clear. Standard operating procedure, come out of cover, then start to reload. So, like, you see her animation, she's taking cover.
Well, I suppose you're not going to need it anymore. You picked the
But there doesn't seem to be the same cover mechanics. Oh, this is the guy that gave me... Oh, level 14. I guess that would be part of it. So this gun seems to definitely take down their shields. Obviously makes sense, it's an energy weapon. Oh, I see, it's got multiple. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to... turn this on to see what I could pick up. I grabbed that. I'm not going to get too deep into crafting, but it said like it was uncommon, so I figured, okay. I'm curious where that guy went. Oh, that was just... Oh, okay. That was just to get in the front door. So what I was saying earlier with the, you got your crew, you got, I wonder.
These access stairs lead deeper into the mines. I hope we remember the way back to the surface.
Now, is there somewhere where it says you're over?
That junk you're hauling is seriously slowing you down.
So she's obviously trying to tell us that we're overburdened. So let's inventory. Yeah, we're 3 over. Okay. Okay. I'm going to switch to this helmet. Let me see if I can dump this one. This one looks cool, but I don't know if I actually need it. Again, I don't know if does this do anything? Plus 10 health, that could be useful. Plus 5 health and O2, that could be useful. Trucker hat, nothing, just pure rock in it. So if this does that, it's one of these things like, do you want +1 of this but at a cost of a -1 of that? Like, I'm wondering if it actually matters on some level. I feel like I've got a couple things that do plus 5 health and O2. So I should just drop. What else? Again, like I'll hold on to those because I don't know if it matters. What's going on here? Again, that looks cool, but yeah. So again, do I slightly less physical but more energy? I mean, on some level, does it matter? What helmet did I go with? Did I go with the? I guess I did. Yeah, it's so weird that it went green when I got detected. No, I'm stuck because okay, so kind of lost track of my. Whoops, what did I do? A quick save? Okay. So she's still right behind me now. Okay. wonder if the NPCs can actually die. I felt like she seemed pretty invincible against that monster. Oh, okay. So I have to say, I'm not, I'm clearly not taking advantage of the shooting. I also think, like, so I feel like, yeah, she's doing most of the heavy lifting, right? I'm not doing anything. The cover mechanics, I feel like, there's certain things I feel like I need. Like, if you're not going to let me take cover, or is there a different button to take cover? Oh, see, okay, so is it only in first person? Maybe that's the trick, is you gotta be in first person mode to get the, like, the pop-out cover mechanics. So let me see if there's anything to the side here. No. Let's see what this is. Space Adept Modified Calibrated Grendel. The thing I was noticing when I was in third person was one of the mechanics I was lamenting not being there was being able to switch the shoulders that your gun's on. Oh, too difficult. Okay. But I do have... no. I do have a skill point now that I figured that out, because I remember that also confused me for a little while. But that was my own stupidity. How do you do skill points, though? Skills. There we go. Medicine. Okay. Okay, what's social theft is interesting. That's boxing, fitness, weightlifting, wellness. I feel like wellness might be a good thing to get because I'm gonna probably get killed a lot. What I'm curious about is picking locks. I assume that'd be a technical thing. But this seems to be all about ship systems. Security. Oh, okay. Let's see what you need to do that. You can attempt to hack advanced locks and okay. Oh, pick 5 locks. Okay, that's what I need to do to start getting that. Which I did pick some locks, but I must have done it before. I realized how to actually unlock the skill. So I'm going to choose wellness because I feel like I'm going to not do well in combat. So that's that. So yeah, it seems like, you know, I was looking for how to switch shoulders in third person, but maybe what it's trying to tell us is that, yeah, no, you need to fire in first person. You know, it got the pop-up going. Oh, right, you have to turn off the thing to use. Okay. It's, yeah, these little bits of clunk are starting to come back to me, like, you know.
This must lead to the miners.
I guess you need the A button to scan.
Imagine having to live
It's so interesting, you know, here they actually tell you what the A button does, where in most things they don't. But, so I guess you can't use it to interact. But what do you got? You got scan. What does Y do? So you still can jump. B lets you... Okay. I was just curious, like, was there another button they could have let you use to, for scanning so that you could still interact when using this mode, but... I still don't know if you can stealth kill. Okay, interesting. You got a little wobble when you got the sights going. I wonder if it's just to keep you from holding... to make you sort of pop in and out to reduce that wobble. Yeah, I really do wonder if they're, like, invincible. I did see somebody run through here, right? Am I crazy? Now, I know there was a safe back here, but it was a master level, so I'm going to assume that I can't actually open it. But let me at least... Yeah, okay. Although, I do respect that in Skyrim, you could take a crack at any lock, right? If you were good at it, you were good at it.
necessary for you to drag around all that gear.
I think she's trying to tell me something, so let's go take a look at our inventory. You have an item that can cure an affliction you are currently suffering from. Look for items in the aid category. Environmental. I don't know what environmental damage I'm getting. So beer can help. That checks out. Let's see if I can... okay, health status, Y. Burns. Okay, that's the status effect I'm dealing with. So let's see what I got for burns. Oh yeah, amp. Don't skip leg day. All right. Bandages? Nope. Chunks beef? Nope. I'm gonna... Chunks cake? I'm gonna restore that health, though. That's... not it. Heal pace. There we go. That makes sense. But I'm still over... So maybe I just dump this deep mining spacesuit, right? It's 7. That's pretty heavy. I'll keep this one because these look badass, but otherwise... Okay, so that should get me at least underweight for now. Not sure where I'm going. Okay. So was there a tank next to me that he popped and that's what set me on fire, or was it a weapon effect? I'm starting to run out of ammo on this gun though, so I gotta think about what comes next.
There's still quite a bit of mineral wealth down here. Perhaps it would be worth our time to survey the area for more. This is gonna end badly for you.
Could really go for a sniper rifle. Nope, wrong button. Let's see what other guns we've got. What's this? Is a shotgun? It looks like a double barrel, yeah. This is what we're working with. Let's go with this. I don't know how many rounds we have for it, but let's give it a shot. Okay, we got some. That's good. So here's an interesting thing. The info that pops up when you're aiming is getting, for me at least, I do like this gun better, is making it tough for me to aim using the iron sights. Because I couldn't tell that he ducked because the name tag was sort of blocking what I'd be looking at for the helmet. And I think I mentioned this, when I play Skyrim, I always go for a bow and arrow stealth guy. Oh, is that guy just sort of... Okay. It's interesting, like, yeah, just... Taint finisher. Okay.
Find anything useful?
I think that modified Equinox is going to be just another one of these guns.
I don't think we're alone.
Let me heal up again. I'm definitely not playing this shooting as careful as I should be. And as much as I hate the melee first-person combat in Skyrim, I really love the bow and arrow stuff and combining it with stealth. Some real chef's kiss stuff going on there. This isn't the same, even though it is a shooter. And so... Not sure. I didn't see which way the guy went. Oh, interesting. So I've got that, but I wonder if you can actually do anything with them. Or is it just like... Because honestly, is it worth keeping contraband stuff on the ship when I can just be like, eh.
Badly for you.
I think we need to work on our catchphrases. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I know what the encumbered means. I don't know what the Star Roamer pack is. Let's check that out. So we got an Exterminator Ripshank, which is, okay, a knife against aliens. Okay. Grendel. Modified Maelstrom. I'm wondering if do I need all these? That's a lot of physical damage. That's pretty good, but I'm almost never gonna... so this is what I have. I don't think I need this, so let's drop that. Looks like I've got 4 of these, so let's, Can you break stuff down? Maybe that's something I should be looking at. Doesn't seem to be. I guess you just... Okay. Don't need 3 rescue axes. Okay, that gets me underweight. All right.
Hello? Oh, took care of the spacers, huh? Good. Now to finish off the research, you're gonna need to collect a sample of hematite to run through the thresher. Grab a laser cutter and head back to the chamber where you came in. Once you've got a sample, thresher's the big machine in the next room. Passcode to start it is Ares 2330. Take care of all that, and we'll have Percival's name cleared in no time.
Okay. So I need to go get some of the element. Do I have a laser cutter, though? I feel like... Didn't I start the game with a laser cutter? Like, wasn't that part of the deal? Like, I was working in the mine. So let me see how I can do that. Where's that cutter, right? Okay, so that's oops, wrong button. Epic gun. So let's take a look at that. That might be a bit of a sniper rifle. Maybe not. So it looks like it's a bumped up version of the regular Equinox, so maybe I don't need these anymore. So I'm going to dump this one.
Why you drop something as useful as that, I have no idea.
Alright, you gotta pick a lane, baby. You want me to either... Yeah, that's too bad. Okay, let's take a look. So, again, I have all these packs. I don't know. I like the idea of... Again, I'm just going to drop some of this crap. Basic boost pack? No. Constellation's the group I'm in, so maybe I'll keep that. I don't know what a star roamer. Honestly. Okay, so what do I do now? Oop.
All set? Good. You can take the elevator in that room back to the surface. There should be a key stashed in the thresher room, if the spacers didn't make off with it. I'll be waiting at the circle.
So I was trying to figure out what the fail-safe was. So I don't think I have what I need to... Let's see, undo. Let's try this one. Ooh, so close. All right. Okay. Let's That's not going to work. Okay. What about this one? This one might not work either. So let's start with this one. There we go. Now with that thing I just picked up, it's like, you know, it's a chem that it does like close quarter effectiveness. I'm never going to remember to use those things. So... Oh, I need the key. So it's probably something I'm just going to end up selling or going to sit in my inventory for the rest of the time. So it's telling me to go back in, and I don't know why. Makes me wonder, did I miss... you know what? I'm apologize. I just want to go down real quick. Just curious if I missed something. What's that say? Return the data to Cambridge. Yes, obviously. But why is that 3 meters? Yeah, no direct path seen. Yeah, I know. That's what was throwing me off, was you want me to take the elevator, but... So first things first, let's get rid of this. Let's get an actual gun going. I don't know if I had a ton of ammo for that, so I'll stick with this for now. Wait, do I have 4 of those? Oh, crap. No, I didn't want to do that. That was the damage, not... Not that I had 4 of them. Okay. It just threw me that when I equipped it, it went from 5 to 4, so I don't know. So while I'm out here... Okay, double tap Y for the boost. That's good to know. Okay. I guess I should be using that in combat to... I'm just curious what this unknown thing is. Now, I've heard a lot of the time it's not really anything. I mean, it's something, but it's not usually some earth-shattering discovery that makes it all worth. The juice may not be worth the squeeze, so to speak. Like, sometimes it's just like another combat encounter. But you do get some XP, I guess. That's nice for exploring.
Sure they had something we can use. You got a death wish?
Okay, so what else we got for weapons? What's a coachman? Shotgun. Let's try it. Right, we're a close close quarters. Let's do it. Ooh, okay. Wonder when it last auto-saved. I haven't been good about quick saving, but usually these games are pretty good about auto-saving. Okay. You know what? Let's there's a way to. I thought there was a way to bring up a oh, surface map is here when you're in. Okay. What I'm trying to do is let me go back. I'm trying to figure out where. Okay, let's go to the mission. Show on map. Okay. Trying to figure out like the way to fast travel. So maybe there's a better way to do it, but what I ended up doing was going to my ship and choosing it as my landing site, which seems like I missed a step somewhere.
The miners pretty much run the lower levels here.
So I guess the lower one is probably to talk to the guy in the bar. Let me do that real quick just in case. Oh, it's an elevator? Oh, right, because you need the elevator to go to the bar. Okay.
Be careful down near the mines and enter any active sites at your own risk.
You've got the slate. Let me see. Reduced joint wear? Oh, increased lifting capacity. A dose of this stuff can make a miner way more efficient. This formula's got to be worth at least as much as whatever Percival owes. Okay, so here's what you do. Tell Octai and the Trade Authority you found a business proposal that will make miners more efficient, higher yield, synergy, you know, all that business crap. And that you'll trade it to him for clearing Percival's debt.
See, like none of this
Doing
voiceover is
pitches and
needed,
stuff
right?
like that.
Like we know exactly what. Yeah, we know. Like we're ahead of you already. So it's sort of slowing down.
Oh, this is gonna be great. Oh, and here, a copy of the formula for yourself, in case you ever want to try maximizing your own industrial output. Oh, use that if you can. Good luck.
Not that it's like bad dialogue or whatever. It's just like it doesn't. For my taste in particular, I don't want it to be long. I want it to be like quick and to the point because I'm not trying to, get a vibe for these personalities and stuff like that. I don't. This is what's going to maybe be something a lot of people disagree with. I don't need that conversation to feel like I'm talking to a character or a real person. Just like, yeah, you check the box. Like, oh, good, you got it. Yeah, run it over, trade it in. I don't know if that makes sense.
Was there something else? I'm never one to turn away an opportunity. But I'd be curious what you think you've uncovered in the Martian market that others have missed.
Okay. So here's the thing. A chem made from aqueous hematite. I call it pick-me-up. These are this. So again, like this is the thing. Like this is the same answer, right?
Aqueous hematite, iron and wastewater. Well, I'm not surprised no one has proposed something like this before. And exactly what does this new drug of yours do?
An interesting proposal, if your data pans out. But where's this hematite coming from? The active mines would be too expensive to retool. The deep mines could be an option, but they're full of spacers. Or so I've heard. Well now, that is intriguing. A completely untapped resource pool, and the sort of utility every mining firm in Sidonia would be clamoring to get their hands on. We could contract out all the actual lab work, bring on one of the hungrier mining concerns for materials, the licensing fees alone. And think what it would do for our image with the general populace. This mine, reopened thanks to the Martian Trade Authority. Very interesting indeed.
Again, like borderline
What would you
monologuing.
want for the rights to this
That's the
mine?
question.
Dr. Walker's dead? That's it? Consider it wiped.
Well, it seems we have a deal then. And here, a finder's fee from the authority. A perfectly reasonable amount for a discovery with this sort of potential. Wouldn't want you feeling shortchanged down the road. We'll just be taking that slate before you have any second thoughts. It was a pleasure doing business.
So now we talk to Lou. So I guess it's going to be going back down the elevator. Hold the door, thank you. All right.
Yeah? Did you now? Fine work. My end of the bargain then, I suppose. He's holed up in the old Red Devil's HQ. Place was sealed up tight after the UC shuttered our unit, but we snuck him in the back entrance through the deep mines. Was also going to warn you about spacers down there. But it sounds like you might have already tossed those dregs. Yeah, the passkey. And I'll let him know there's someone he owes one hell of a thank you on their way down.
Cool. All right, so let me quick save. And I think I'm going to stop here. And when I say I think I'm going to stop here, I'm not just going to stop this session. I think I'm going to stop streaming this game. And the reason why is because I found this whole session boring. I'm not a huge fan of shooters, but I'm glad that's the way they go with the combat in this game. But I just don't find that engaging. So, you know, running around, because what I think happens is you feel the need to make it like a shooter level, which means you feel the need to put in more than you need to fill the space, or, you know, it's like, oh, shooting gameplay, let's add it in, right? Like in Skyrim, I feel like the combat is I don't know what. I played as a bow, but I feel like there's less of it because, you know, in a shooter, you just expect, you know, a mob of enemies to gun down and have a big gunfight. And I don't think you really expect that in Skyrim. But yeah, just, I gotta tell you, like, the sense of wonder I get every time I fire up Skyrim, I am not getting at all from Starfield. And maybe, again, it's very early. I know everybody says the game starts off very slowly, but that's not exactly it. It's the idea that, you know, in Skyrim, like, I can't help myself from seeing something and wanting to go to it and explore it and getting distracted and just getting completely lost in the setting. Here, you know, when there was, like, the unknown thing on my map, like, I barely cared. And so then when I ran over to check out what it was, and it was just another gunfight, which I'd already, you know, if I wanted a shooter, I'd go play a shooter, right? But I don't know how you solve that. You know, they have to put in some kind of combat mechanic. Shooting absolutely makes total sense. But I'm not dying to play a shooter, at least in this way, right? I'm not looking to stream playing a shooter. So, and also all the other things, because I'm streaming, I let dialogue play out. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it just slows it down in a way because I just don't care. You know, the dialogue most of the time doesn't mean anything. And, but the real thing is what I was just saying. Like, I would rather be playing Skyrim. There's just something about that world, and maybe that's going back to what I was saying at the very beginning, where they just sort of captured something with that game. You know, they sort of smoothed out the mechanics to the right amount to make it console accessible, which made it able to blow up with a wider audience. But it's not just that it blows up with a wider audience. What's there hooks me more than what has hooked me here so far. And maybe at some point I'll just check back in and say, hey, this is where I am. But I don't see any reason to do this moment to moment to moment to moment. And like I said, like, I found this session just strangely unengaging, even though I would argue on paper what I'm doing might not be all that different than what you might be doing on a side quest in Skyrim. But yeah, like, it just, for some reason, it's not, which feels crazy because I prefer sci-fi to fantasy. And as I've mentioned 100 million times, 2300 AD, and I'm sort of getting some of those vibes from this, but it's just not hooking me in. And so I don't feel like there's a need for me to stream every moment of a run through of it. Because, like I said, part of me would rather just go play Skyrim instead, which is bizarre. And yeah, I don't know. So anyway, I'll stop there. And like I said, I'm not going to do any more Starfield, at least for the time being. I'm definitely going to keep playing Starfield here and there. But if you listen to the last Darklands session I posted, which should be going up by the time this goes up, you know, the whole end of it is me just sort of going on about the magic I just experienced with that Darklands session. Even though I apologize, I screwed up streaming the game and the map. I apologize. There's a 20-minute chunk out of the 2 hours where I totally screwed up what you're seeing on screen. But the rest of it, I think, you know, it really just grabbed its hooks into me, and I was engaged the whole time. I was just into it, right? And I just was not into this at all. So again, Black Lodge Trivia Night. We have actual plays of RPGs. We have so far 2 podcasts that go with it. Damn Fine Coffee, which is just sort of like an RPG discussion, and then we have Bookhouse Boys. We had one of those where, on short notice, we pick up at a book and we just take a look at it, and we go into, you know, a game off our shelf. You can get audio versions of that wherever you get your podcasts, or here on the YouTube channel, you can see the video versions of those. Follow us on Twitter or Blue Sky at Black Lodge RPG. And yeah, like, subscribe, you know, tell people about this if this is your thing. So thanks again. And, you know, we'll be back with more actual plays coming. I'll be doing some more Darklands. You know, Patrick's about to step aside for a little bit, so we'll see what Matt and I cook up for the interim, and we'll go from there. So, thanks again, and take care.